you guys, welcome to Mustard Seed Ministries. Today's video is all about change and how we begin to make that change for the Lord. There are three changes that I struggle with the most, and they were smoking, drinking, and not wanting to be around people, or basically being afraid of people. Those are like the three biggest things that were keeping me from God the most. And I say that to say that the three things that kept me from being able to those were the three things that kept me from being able to deal with my mental health, because I didn't want to be around other people. I thought that I would never be accepted for who I was and with my mental health disorder. And that's not true. It's just the fact that because I was smoking and drinking, I wasn't taking care of it and I wasn't handling it correctly. So in turn, I isolated and I came to the realization that I didn't need the masks of smoking and drinking and isolating myself from people. I needed God to be able to do the things that I wanted to do in this life. God has a plan for you, but you must change for Him to be able to carry out that plan for you. Like I said in previous videos, the purpose you have to be able to call on Him first. You can't call on Him if you haven't decided that you're going to change. He can work with people who are at least willing to change, but what He can't work with is someone who just wants to do things their own way. And that was me through and through, wanted to do everything He wanted me to do my own way, and that wasn't going to get me anywhere. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to make those changes permanent. And whatever it is that God directs you to do, there's going to need to be a change on your part spiritually. And in order for you to do that, one, you have to ask the Lord what it is that you need to be doing. So the first step in changing is accepting the fact that you're going to make mistakes even well into your change. I myself can truly say that I still mess up sometimes when it comes to hearing God, and sometimes I'll be like, I don't need to go this way. He'll be like, well, I said you're going this way, and then I won't go that way. But then I'll kind of double back. I'll just kind of go back and do it anyways, because then I'll realize it'll be fear that's keeping me from being able to be obedient. And that's how it was back, like, at least I would even say just a few weeks ago. That's how it was. It was like that, where I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to go here, and He'll be like, well, we're going. So then I'd pass whatever place that was, and then I'll be like, oh, that's the reason why you want me to go. So then I'll just go ahead on and go. Don't let fear keep you from doing something for the Lord. I have since learned that I don't need to have any fear to do what God has asked me to do. No man can touch me. I basically just get up and do what I got to do, and don't worry about who's looking. God prepares your way, so being fearful is like saying, I can't change because I'm fearful of what I'll have to do next. You can't be like that. First, you must change and accept the fact that you'll make mistakes, and recognize those mistakes, so that way next time you'll notice before you even make the mistake, and you'll go ahead and be obedient. The second thing is to tell other people about the change and keep those who God tells you to keep. Now, a lot of times we want everybody to recognize our change, and we want everybody to be a part of our journey, and that's just not going to be able to happen for everybody. Me, myself, I struggle with letting people go so God could use me. My relatives, for as an example, they were the hardest for me to let go of. I was clinging to them for really no reason at all. But I realized that they would never be receptive of the change that God has done in me, so that's why I had to let them go. And I'm not sad about it because God will replace them. A lot of people are not going to be receptive of the change that God has placed in you, and they're not going to accept what God has you making and who He has called you to be, because once He's given you your purpose, some people are going to be mad about it. Some people are going to be like, well, why is she acting like this? Why do they have to act like this, God? Or they'll just have negative thoughts, and then they'll start speaking those thoughts, and it'll lead, bleed onto you. So you have to cut those people off before you even get to your purpose. But the only way you'll know for sure who to leave behind is if you go ahead and tell them what you're doing, what you've changed, because you get your crown in heaven when you denounce everything on this earth. I get my crown in heaven when I denounce everything in earth to follow God. And that is what He wants us to do. That is the change that He wants us to make. And we can change for the love of God and for His purpose to further His kingdom. He will take care of the rest. And lastly, number 3, keep changing as God sees fit. We must be flexible in this life because God is flexible with us. And sometimes we will make a mistake during our change that will completely obliterate whatever it is that God was planning to use for us. So that's why we need to be ultra flexible, because sometimes, flesh will get in the way. And you just have to keep changing. When God says, okay, we're going to go do this, whatever hat that requires, be prepared to put it on and go ahead on and do it. Okay, you guys? So go seek the Lord with all your heart. Seek His plans for you daily. Always inquire of Him what it is that He wants you to do today through you. You guys be blessed.